Hey there, and welcome to the UkeStuff channel, and welcome to this full UkeGuide review for this instrument. It's the Aiersi SU-021B. It's their entry-level soprano ukulele, and I really like these a lot. These have a really wide price point depending on where you get them, and we'll talk about that in the video as well. So we're going to do this video, first of all, we'll talk about some subjective issues, then we'll talk about specifications, then I'll summarize and give a UkeGuide rating, and then we'll be done with the video. So let's begin. So this one will sell anywhere between, I've seen them as low as $20 going up and beyond $50. It is probably easily worth the $40 price point, at least, if not more, just for the build. I have seen ukuleles from major ukulele companies that you would know. We're not talking Hawaiian, of course. We're talking import ukuleles that are built to a much lower standard quality and cost easily 5 times as much. It's sort of ridiculous. So what you're getting is a laminate ukulele. There's been some discussion whether it's HPL or not. The Aiersi website is a little confusing with it. Again, with a either rosewood or Richlite fretboard, it looks like it's moving to rosewood, but could be a form of Richlite, absolutely, and some sort of mahogany sort of neck, along with, you know, your standard open gear tuners and your tie bar bridge. Depending on where you get it from, it also comes along with some extras. So this one happened to come along with a guitar capo. Don't know what to say about that. It's going to stick off the end of the ukulele and not really work so well. It comes with a tuner and then a super light gig bag. It's a dust cover and it's an entry-level ukulele. You don't really need much more, but if you really want to take care of it, you'll probably buy a slightly better gig bag for it. So in terms of value, well, if you can get it at that lower price point of $22 or so, it's a home run as a starter basic instrument. Be a great instrument for a kid or a beginner just to play and mess around with. It'd be great as an instrument to keep in the trunk of your car because being a laminate, it shouldn't be that susceptible to temperature changes, or it should be a little more resistant. Maybe not in some places where it gets over 100 a lot in the summer, but you know what I'm saying. It'd be great for an ukulele you keep in your camper or that sort of thing. No question about it. Very, very functional, serviceable ukulele for not much money. So the value is really rather extreme here, even if you have to buy another gig bag for it. Now, in terms of build quality, overall, I have been so incredibly impressed by Aiersi. So I buy these occasionally to keep on hand to give away to people that we know that we want to give an ukulele away to, or for people that want to buy one. I will keep a few of these on hand, and I will always double check that everything is good on them, including the setup. The setups have been very, very low. We'll talk about that with playability, but there are fret ends that are sharp almost all the time based on they're built in China, shipped over, they dry out in the warehouse, and we'll get sharp fret ends, and the fretboard and bridge always do benefit from a good oiling as well before somebody uses one of these. So if you buy one, expect that there are a couple little maintenance things that you'll need to do, as well as I like to suggest changing the strings out to Martin M600s, but that's just me. I think it makes them sound even better. Now, with all that said, let's take a look on the inside because I want you to see how well this is actually put together and how amazing it is for what can often be a $25 instrument. All right, we're going to take a look at the Aiersi SU-021B. And I've actually got 2 of them here for us to take a look at. So as we go in here, we're going to look at the back, and you can see that there's some glue mess, especially with the tail block down there, but there is a tail block. And then we can see that the bridge is screwed in, and you can see some excess glue there. But really, that's all there is to say about it. Otherwise, it's a pretty clean standard build for a ukulele. All right, backing up a little bit, you can see the bracing up on top there. You can see the neck block. You can see the notch kerfing all the way throughout. Yeah, generally some glue mess, but overall pretty solidly built, pretty cleanly built. Now that's this model. Let's take a look at its actual brother right here, right now. This is the same model, but it was labeled with another manufacturer on the inside with a wood plate, which looks really nice, by the way. But as we look in the back, we can see, again, the bridge plate that's connected. We can see the notch kerfing, see the tail block. This one has quite a bit less glue in it, incidentally. You can still see some glue mess, but it's less than the other one. Okay, looking at the upper bout, again, you can see the upper brace there. You can see the notch kerfing, a little bit of glue. There is your neck block right there. A little bit of glue again on the notch kerfing, but overall, a really nicely made, inexpensive soprano laminate ukulele. And that's our quick look at both these instruments, but this one would be the Uke-21, which is the exact same as the Aiersi SU-021B. All right, so we're back. Ultimately, really a well put together ukulele at a really, really amazingly low price. Now, as for appearance, it's very plain. You don't get any plainer than that, but it's attractive in its plainness. It's not unattractive, and that's really nice. Now, in terms of playability, it is a 35 millimeter nut with a, not overly thick C shape, but a C-shaped neck and pretty traditional string spacing. So it's not super roomy. So if you're a person with giant hands, you won't like it that much. But otherwise, the action that it came with is amazing. In this particular batch, none of them had action at the 12th fret higher than 2.5 millimeters, and the action at the first fret for all of them, I think, was 0.5 right on. So the factory's doing a great job of shipping them with great action, and they're easy to play then. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you even put the Martin strings on, the Martin strings feel thinner, they feel lighter, even though they're actually a harder string. It just really makes it a fun experience to play as well as soprano. So if you've been considering a soprano and didn't want to spend a lot of money, this is a great way to get into it with perhaps the addition of another set of strings and a different gig bag. Now, as for sound quality, I think it's really good for what you're getting. Now, if it's HPL, and there's not really any way to tell whether it's HPL or whether it's laminate, it's a pretty resonant little body on there, and it's decently loud. It's got sustain, especially in the mid sort of range. It's got that sort of plucky character that you want from a soprano. So I think the sound is really quite good. It's on the louder side. With the stock strings like this one has that were labeled as Aquilas, it could use a little more high end, although it is balanced. So I like the Martin strings because they can bring out a little more sparkle on ukulele. So some sustain there in the lower side of it, but overall a really nice sound. It's amazing sound for, again, a basically $20 to $50 ukulele. And one of the things I like to do is let you see what I'm hearing. So I play the C chord into Tonal Energy Tuner, and I'll let you see what happens as I strum the chord and then as the sustain goes. Here we go. All right, now that we've talked about the subjective issues, let's do the specifications of the instrument. It is a soprano ukulele with 15 frets, 12 to the body. There are side position markers, and there are position markers on the front of the ukulele. It is a standard double bout ukulele, and we are not totally sure what it's made of. It could be laminate mahogany or laminate sapele, or it could be HPL. It's layered. You can actually see the layers, whereas generally in HPL, you would just see one really thick layer. So with that, it could be a layered HPL. It could be a laminate. Either way, it's a laminate of some kind. The fretboard is supposed to be Richlite, although it does sort of look like rosewood to me. The bridge is supposed to be Richlite. It does sort of look like rosewood to me. So those are sort of up in the air as well. The fretboard is a flat fretboard, meaning it does not have any radius, and the bridge is a tie bar bridge. The nut and saddle are listed as bone, and the saddle is not compensated on the instrument. The finish is an open pore satin that looks very nice, very traditional, not super dark, attractive finish. And the overall length is just under 21 inches, 20.875 inches from the top of the crown, sort of a Martin-like crown to the bottom of the instrument, and it weighs only 12.5 ounces. Very light. I think that's part of the character of that sound, that sort of boomy sound, that plucky sound that it has, is because it's not overly built in there, even though it's built well on the inside. The tuners are open geared tuners, and every Aiersi that I've used, the tuners have been just fine. I've been pretty happy with the tuners. I haven't had any problems with grinding gears or anything, which again is pretty nice for a low price ukulele. The action of the first fret was lower than 0.5 millimeters, and the action of the 12th fret is 2 millimeters. So very low playable ukulele. The nut width is 34.74 millimeters, so just under 35 millimeters, and the string spacing between the strings is 8.55 millimeters between each string, which ended up being 29.18 G to A. I know that changes from time to time, but ultimately you're looking at around a 29 millimeter spacing G to A, which is pretty common for a soprano or concert ukulele. Now the depth of the instrument at the 3rd fret, so if you go from the top of the strings at the 3rd fret to the bottom of the neck, is 22.06 millimeters, which sort of lets you know that it's sort of a rounded C shape. It doesn't feel super chunky like some other instruments that I've reviewed, but again, that could be slender, and I would like that a little more. So if there's anything that could be improved, it'd be the profile of the neck, just a touch, to make it a little more shallow, I think would be a nice touch. All right, now that we've talked about the subjective issues and the specifications, let's summarize the instrument. This, again, is Aiersi's entry-level plain soprano ukulele. They're available a number of places, Aiersi's own website. You can find them occasionally on eBay or Amazon, and they will range in price anywhere from $20 at the lowest that I've seen all the way up above $50. That all said, it's an instrument that's worth more than the asking price than you pay for it. So ultimately, you get a really well put together ukulele with a really decent sound that could use a couple of things: a better gig bag and, I think, another set of strings. And you really have an ukulele that can serve you well for a beginner, as a travel ukulele, as something just to keep in your car or your camper. It's just a great little instrument at a great value. Now, to be honest, I do like Aiersi's Pineapple Soprano just a little bit better. I think something happens with that little bit of extra material that's added to the ukulele that helps the sound just that little bit more. That's, again, a personal preference, so if you like the soprano style, by all means you can go for it, but I do like the pineapple sound just that much better than the soprano. So I give every ukulele a rating between 1 and 5 ukuleles. I suppose there's been a 0 or 2 along the way as well. This one would be a 4.5. So if you're in the market for an entry-level ukulele, soprano scale, this is a great one to buy. Do be aware that you'll want to check the action when it arrives. You'll want to deal with any sharp fret ends, and you'll probably want to oil the fretboard and the bridge when it arrives and as you change strings. And I would suggest trying the Martin M600s right off the bat and see how you like the instrument. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.